She had no shoes. Her robe was nothing but tattered fabric, heavy with grime and memory. Her fingers trembled as they reached out, not in hope, but hunger. And there she was, a young woman with flour-dusted hands and a smile as warm as a fresh oven. She pushed a plate of cake gently into the old woman's palms, unaware that behind her, the blades of a helicopter had just stopped spinning. A man in a sharply tailored black suit stepped out, eyes fixed, not on the cake, but on the homeless woman who once rocked him to sleep. Before we continue, if you are watching our video for the first time, please bless and support us by hitting that subscribe button, turn on your notification bell to get notified for more, share to friends and loved ones who loves respect and justice no matter the cost. Where are you watching from? Please tell us in the comments. We love seeing how far our story goes. To our unique constant viewers, our high-esteemed subscribers, lovely new viewers, thank you for being part of our growth. No one at Sweet Crust Bakery had any idea who the man in the suit was. They just knew he came from the sky, and that meant power. His name was Calvin Dane, CEO of Billionaire Tech, Silicon Valley's most talked-about innovator. But at that moment, Calvin wasn't thinking about cloud computing or next-gen solar tech. He was staring at the face of a woman he thought had died decades ago. His assistant had told him to come quietly. They had tracked the DNA from an old letter found in an abandoned hospital file. The bakery, just a stop along the way, turned out to be the beginning of something much bigger. The baker, Ava Brooks, wiped her hands on her apron, nervously noting how Calvin's eyes glistened. "Is she okay?" she asked, nodding toward the woman now chewing slowly, as if savoring something more than food. Calvin didn't answer immediately. He walked over, crouched beside the woman. "Mom," he whispered. She looked up, eyes cloudy but alive. Her hand paused mid-bite. "Cal, is that you?" Ava stepped back, overwhelmed by the electricity of the moment. Customers inside peered through the glass. A phone rang, but no one moved to answer it. Silence fell as Calvin took his mother's fragile hand. She had been missing for 24 years. He thought she had abandoned him. The truth. She had suffered a breakdown after his father died in a car crash. Lost in grief, she wandered, diagnosed with schizophrenia but never properly cared for. She disappeared from the system, then from the world. Calvin turned to Ava. "How long has she been coming here?" Ava brushed back a strand of hair. "About 6 months. She never says much. Just sits and waits. I give her leftovers. But today, I felt like she needed more." That day marked the end of Ava's simple life. Calvin returned the next morning. With lawyers. With doctors. With media. But it was Ava who stayed at his mother's side, not the nurses. She was the one who figured out the old woman remembered songs better than names. Ava would hum while brushing her hair, bake soft bread she could chew, tell her stories like a daughter would. 2 weeks later, Calvin came again. No suit this time. He wore jeans. He asked Ava if she'd like to walk. It was awkward at first. He asked if she liked classical music. She asked if he'd ever tried soul food. He laughed, a real laugh, and admitted his childhood had been a mess of silent dining rooms and stiff housekeepers. "I never knew kindness could be so simple," he said one day, watching Ava knead dough. She didn't respond. She just smiled, hands working through flour and memory. They began spending more time together. Ava taught Calvin how to bake. He taught her how to pitch ideas. One afternoon, while watching his mother nap peacefully, Calvin turned to Ava and said, "You saved her." Ava shook her head. "No. She saved me. I was tired of being invisible." Months passed. A tabloid ran the headline, "Tech Tycoon Dates Small-Town Baker." The internet had a field day. But Ava stayed grounded. Calvin liked that. She didn't care for his money, only his mother and the man beneath the title. Then came the twist. An investor in Billionaire Tech tried to oust Calvin. Accused him of emotional instability, claimed he'd gone soft. Stocks dropped. Pressure rose. Ava saw the panic in his eyes. That night, she invited him to her apartment above the bakery. Lit candles. No press. No pretense. "What do you really want, Calvin?" He looked around the modest space. Her kitchen smelled like cinnamon and coffee. Her cat slept on a windowsill. I want to matter to people, not just machines. Ava reached for his hand. Then let's build something. Together. They started a new foundation, RiseWarm. It provided mental health care and job training for the homeless. Calvin poured resources into it. Ava shaped its heart. They turned her bakery into the first training center. Taught former homeless individuals how to bake, cook, manage businesses. Ava's once quiet kitchen buzzed with life. And then, just a year after that first slice of cake, Calvin knelt by the same spot and proposed. Media outlets exploded. But they kept the wedding small. Ava wore a simple dress. Calvin's mother, now lucid through therapy and treatment, walked her down the aisle. The empire they built wasn't just technological anymore, it was human. Ava and Calvin launched a string of RiseWarm bakeries across the country, each one hiring and uplifting the forgotten. Tech funded it. Kindness sustained it. But not all was smooth. A former partner of Calvin, enraged by the shift toward social ventures, tried to sabotage RiseWarm's funding. Threatened lawsuits. Leaked documents. Ava fought back. She confronted the partner herself. Not with rage, but resolve. You measure value in numbers, she told him, staring him down across a boardroom table. We measure it in lives. The board voted unanimously in her favor. The partner was bought out. RiseWarm remained untouched. One winter morning, Ava found a letter at the bakery door. From a girl who had been homeless, taken in by RiseWarm, now applying to college. Her letter ended with, "Because of you, I believe again." Ava cried that day. Calvin held her close. They kept going. Speaking at schools. Opening centers. Partnering with other companies. But they never forgot the moment that started it all. A slice of cake. A trembling hand. A stranger with nothing who turned out to be everything. Today, their story is told not just in tech halls, but in alleyways, classrooms, and dinner tables across America. It's about seeing the unseen. Giving when no one's watching. Loving with action, not just words. The moral: true wealth isn't in numbers, but in how many lives you touch. This inspiring and edifying story was humbly brought to you by Elliott Stories. Catch you on the next one.